Welcome, fellow Flutter devs. This is the first video of this new channel, Flutter Paradise. You can expect to see many quick videos on tips and tricks that I use around my daily life and work as a Flutter developer. Enough intro, let's dive right into the first tips regarding the bang operator. What is the bang operator, you might ask? Maybe you have never used it before, maybe you have seen it before in someone else's code, maybe you are using it frequently. If the latter, here is why I'd argue against using it. But first, let's clarify for everyone else what it is exactly. As you can see in this example, you cannot use title directly because it is of type nullable string, and the method expects a parameter of type non-null string. So how can we work around this, and what exactly is the bang operator now? It is the exclamation mark character. You can write it after expressions. It will basically disable the null awareness or null checks of the analyzer. If there is a case when you are absolutely 1000% sure that a nullable variable is not null when you call this code, you can force the analyzer to ignore this occurrence. But if you fail to be smarter than the analyzer, Flutter will throw a type error in your face at runtime. You might look at this code and ask, but why can it fail? I'm checking it right in the line before. Yeah, sure. But now imagine that title would have this getter implementation. The if check line could return the string title, but the next line could return null instead, right? To me, whenever I see the bang operator in code that I review, it is a code smell. An indication that this code could be written in a nicer way so that it is more clear, easier to understand, and more robust. And there is no need to use the bang operator anymore. Gladly, Dart offers us several ways to rewrite the code to properly handle all possible code paths. Also keep in mind that this code might come from an external dependency that you have imported. Then you cannot change the actual code, but still have to deal with it in a safe way. How can you deal with it? Here is option 1, introducing a local variable. You pick the nullable title variable and save it to a locally scoped final variable. Now the analyzer can be sure that this value will not change during runtime anymore. And you can use the temp title without the bang operator easily. Option 2, if case. The if statement can have a case clause that you can use to only execute the code path if this case clause pattern is matched. Note that there is no if case expression, only the if case statement, so you cannot use it everywhere. You can use the case clause of an if statement to reassign the actual runtime value to the new variable. The new variable can have a new name or it can locally override the original name. Again, the analyzer can be sure that this value is non-null and you can safely use it without the bang operator. Option 3, use a switch statement or an exhaustive switch expression. With the recently added Dart feature for pattern matching in switch expressions and statements, we can simply write out all the possible code paths in a nice way. In case of the switch expression, it even forces us to be exhaustive, so we can never forget any maybe not so obvious code path. The switch statement, on the other hand, always has an implicit empty default case, so this one does not have to be exhaustive. Again, you can give the variable a new name or locally override the original one. In this case, you actually have to think about and write out the case when the title is not a string but actually null. This is my preferred option, since it really forces you to think about all the possible code paths and come up with a solution for each of them. I have to give a final note. The described scenario only happens when you are dealing with non-primitive types, objects. Imagine you got a response from an API and your title field is a field on this response object. Then we can face the issue with the tricky getter and we cannot know exactly what is happening internally. When you are dealing with just primitive types, those can safely be accessed right away, after doing the null check. That's it for the first video on this channel. To sum it up, for me, seeing the bang operator anywhere is a code smell. We saw 3 options how to solve this. Option 1, introduce a local variable. Option 2, use the if case syntax. Option 3, my favorite, use an exhaustive switch. Let me know in the comments if you like to see more videos of this kind here. Want to know more about some specific topic? Let me know in the comments as well. And if you don't want to miss any upcoming videos, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye bye.